Hi, my name is Dan Terrelmus, also known as Evil Dan. Earlier this year, I put out a book called Stories for a Rainy Afternoon or A Sunny Day at the Beach. You can catch it on Amazon. For the Edgar Allan Poe Festival, I thought I'd read one of those stories. It's actually my riff on the Raven, and I call it A Familiar Poem. Once upon a midnight dreary, with sinuses aching, my eyes all bleary, and a cough that caused my throat to become scratchy and quite sore. With consciousness sapping, I succumbed to napping, when suddenly there came a tapping or perhaps a rapping, from outside my entrance door. Who the hell is tapping or rapping at my door? This better not be a salesman, or I'll kick his ass for sure. 'Twas then that I remembered it was midnight in a cold December. The empty glass slipped from my fingers and shattered on the floor. Eagerly I wished it morrow, which is poetic for tomorrow. My head was numb, I was out of rum, and I needed to get some more. Once again I heard the tapping. 'Twas much too loud to call a rapping. And then silence. A long, cosmic silence. A silence too much for me to endure. State thy name, I do implore. State thy name, or I'll kill you for sure. This I shouted as I slunk to the floor, one eye on the ceiling, one eye on the door. And then again the silence shattered, as though a cat exploded, its insides splattered. My last nerve shaken, my patience rattled to the core, with my heart strongly pounding, 'cause the tapping was so resounding, I shouted out boldly as I rose up from the floor. I'm coming for you, you tapping sucker. I'll change your tapping into a stutter, and then with hard lessons learned, you shall bother me no more. My legs gave way, I began to sway, dizziness stole my balance away, and gravity, like a human magnet, sent me spiraling down once more. I shook my fist, 'cause I was pissed, having now grown weary of this little tryst. Just leave me alone, I cried. Just leave me alone, I do implore. I braced my arm against the floor. I stood up straight, my pants bloody and tore. I'll catch you, and I'll hurt you, and I'll beat you, and I'll kill you, I swore under my breath as I flung open the door. Into the inky evening I stood there peering, doubting my sanity and my hearing. In darkness, the silence here lay unbroken. The source of the tapping gave no token. Silent as death was the stillness of night, not a tap nor a rap, and no one in sight. Through blinking eyes, with vision impure, perhaps I was dreaming. I just wasn't sure. I shut the door, which commenced a roar, the likes I'd never witnessed before. From behind me bellowed an unearthly sound. I placed one foot and then slowly turned around. I turned to my chair, to my safe haven. Upon its tall back now perched a raven, with reddish eyes, wings spread to soar. It looked possessed, wanting to settle a score. Before I could move, before I could speak, it dug its claws into my face, and then its beak. It tapped on my forehead. I could no longer endure. This madness must cease. It shall be this raven, or I fumbled for the pistol from the box on my desk. There was only one way for me to get rid of this pest. I jammed the steel barrel against its head and fired off one shot to ensure it'd be dead. And then, peace. Endless peace. Endless bliss. No tapping, nor rapping, only white noise hiss. Epilogue. As morning slowly turned to early afternoon, the sun rose higher in the cloudless sky. The heavy drapes, pulled nearly closed, allowed only a sliver of sunlight into the room. It was mid-afternoon before the familiar warmth hit my face and awakened me. I was quickly blinded and shielded my eyes, and then viewed the damage from the night before. Slowly picked myself up. I grabbed a broom and dustpan and swept up the pieces of glass off the floor. I dumped the remnants of the glass in the trash. I threw out the empty rum bottle. My copy of the Poe collection lay open on the floor with several pages now folded under. I went to the bathroom and took a quick piss. Caught myself a glimpse in the mirror and thought I looked like crap. I needed to quit drinking. These blackouts were getting much too frequent. The caw of a raven broke through the silence of my labored breathing. I went back to the living room to retrieve my vibrating phone. Looking at the screen, I saw it was one of my old college buddies. I hadn't heard from him in ages. He said he got into town yesterday and wanted to know if I wanted to go out and grab a few drinks. He said he tried calling me last night, but I never answered my phone. I told him I'd meet him in an hour. I took a quick shower, and then off I went to meet my friend, my old college buddy, Bob Nevermore. I'd quit drinking next week. Of this I was sure.